is actually like Bhagavad Gita. So first let's all do Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are doing chapter 1, canto 1 and text 17. So Bhagavad Gita is also question answers. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran is again question answers. Bhagavad Gita has got Krishna's name, Roop, that is the form, and his gunas, his qualities, Naam, Roop, Gun. But the Bhagavatam has got the Naam, the name, the qualities, the form and the pastimes. So it includes the pastimes. And Krishna is called Leela Purushottam. He is the master of the pastimes. And he has performed extreme number of pastimes when he came to this planet, just for us to understand him. And his pastimes are beyond our understanding. So just to make us realize, and every pastime has got a special meaning. It's not just he killed one asura and he killed another one and the third one. He killed the first asura, Putana. So when we come into the bhakti, the first thing we have to kill in ourselves is the Putana of ours. Putana means dupliciousness. So this Srimad Bhag, before going into Bhagavatam, we should understand that we have to become not duplicitous. We cannot have two personalities. We have to have one personality. We have to have, if we are a devotee of the Lord, we have to be sincerely the devotee of the Lord. We cannot have, like we say, a diplomacy or hypocrisy. So Bhagavad Gita, like Srimad Bhagavatam, has got 18,000 verses. Bhagavad Gita has got just 700 verses. Bhagavatam has got 18,000 verses. So 18,000 verses, there is the different stories of the devotees of the Lord, the pure devotees of the Lord. It's got the pastimes of the devotees of the Lord. It's got the conversation between different sages where the questions were being put. Like you are reading here the questions by the sages. So questions by the sages were put at Naimisharayana by the 60,000 sages, those who have gathered there. They are asking Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami was present when Shukdev Goswami was giving Parikshat Maharaj the Srimad Bhagavatam. He learnt it there, he is Shrutidhar. By just once listening, he learnt all the shlokas by heart, the 18,000 verses. And he's come here and he's answering now. Because why question answers? You see, Prabhupada even gave question answers. After every class, we have question answers. Why? Because there should be no doubt in us. We should be left with no doubt. We should kill all the putanas in us. Whatever the putana we are carrying, we should kill. Doubts means putana. Doubt means illusion. Doubt means your faith is not strong. If you have doubt towards your spiritual master, how will you love your spiritual master? If you have some doubt towards Srila Prabhupada, how will you love Srila Prabhupada? If you have some doubt towards Krishna, how will you love Krishna? Similarly, for Gaunitai, if you have any doubt, any question in your mind, how come he took sannyas? How come he was a young boy? He was the Pandit of Vyakaran in Sanskrit. He was a great Pandit. And then he took sannyas. Then how could he distribute holy name to the animals even? So if we have doubt with such things, then how will we love them? So questions mean the doubts. So Putana means the dupliciousness in us. So it contains all the pastimes of Krishna. You will read gradually when you will advance. You're on the first canto. When you will advance, you will come to the different pastimes of Krishna, where he kills different asuras, different demons. So these demons of doubts, demons of vices, demons of bad qualities in us. So he killed all. So when Krishna comes in our life, he kills all the demons in our lives. He kills all the doubts. Demons doesn't mean that he will be slaughtering us, we will die. No. He will kill all the doubts in our heart. In our heart, we have lots of doubts. We get bewildered. We get, oh, how this happens? How can this happen? How can he lift a Govardhan? How can he lift? We think like us. We can't carry a stone on our little finger. How can anybody carry a mountain on his little finger? So these doubts will get crushed once we go into the Bhagavatam, once we go deep into the study of Bhagavatam. So that is why these questions of the sages, they are very important. The Putana Leela, everybody knows here. You don't know? You know it? That's good. She came dressed as a? Mother. Yeah, a beautiful lady. before her mother, she dressed, because then she took the role of a mother. She was so beautiful, she looked like a demigoddess. When she walked in the village, everybody was awestruck, even the women. Yashoda was completely awestruck. She said, "Oh my God, such a beautiful lady." She thought she's an apsara come from heaven. And the Putana, she looked so beautiful, mesmerizing. She walked towards the courtyard of Nanda Baba, and there Krishna is in the lap of Yashoda. Yashoda did not give Krishna when Shivji came to her doorstep dressed he was dressed up like a ascetic, a sadhu. She did not give Krishna to him. But when Putana dressed up as a beautiful lady came, she asked for Krishna and she happily gave Krishna. She said, "I want to hold your baby," and she gave Krishna. She did not think even what she's doing. And she carried Krishna outside. And there she wanted to breastfeed Krishna because she had put poison on her breast. And Krishna knew everything, what's happening. So as Krishna sucked her breast, she came into her real Savrupa. It says 6 miles long, ugly body she had. She was ugly to look at, extremely ugly, and she came into her real Savrupa. So when we get connected to Krishna, our real Savrupa is what? We are from Vaikuntha, we are from the Goloka. So our real Savrupa is from Goloka. When we get connected to Krishna, we'll come to our real Savrupa. We'll go back to Godhead. So this is Krishna. And how we get connected to Krishna? Through this, through Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is that connects us to Krishna, that kills all our doubts. Our faith will become strong and we will strongly clutch Krishna's hand. We just have to, you see, when a child walks, he is learning to walk. When he is learning to walk, his father helps him to walk. So the child does not need to hold his hand up. The father does not need to hold his hand in the kid's hand. His hand is too big. Kid's hand is so small. He just gives his finger and the child clasps the finger and the child learns to walk. He might be falling, getting up, falling, getting up. But as soon as the father gives the finger, the child starts walking. So likewise, when we hold Krishna's finger, he doesn't need to give us full hand. Just his finger, tip of his finger, we catch it. We'll grasp it, we'll learn to walk and go back to Godhead. So this is today's verse where the sages of Naimisharayana, they're asking questions. So there are many questions which you have. There are 6 main questions and many are in this chapter. Then in the next coming chapters they will be answered also. So today's verse, we will go to that verse. It says here, this chapter 1:17. Tasya karmani udarani parigitani suryabhi bruhina shraddhadhananam leelaya dadata kala tasya karmani udarani parigitani suryabhi bruhina shraddhadhananam leelaya dadata kala tasya karmane uddarani parigitani suribhi bruhina shraddhadhananam leelaya dadata kala. Prabhuji.
Asya karmanya udarani parigitani suribhi ब्रूहिणा स्वदधानानां लीलया ददतः कलः
तस्य कर्माण्युदाराणि परिगीतानि सूरिभिः ब्रूहिणा श्रद्धदानानां लीलया ददतः कला
तस्य कर्माणि उदराणि परिगीतानि सुरभिः ब्रूहिणा श्रद्धदानानां लीलया दत्तः कलाम्
Mataji.
तस्य कर्माणि उदाराणि परिगीतानि सूरिभिः लीलाय ददतः कला तस्य कर्माणि उदाराणि परिगीतानि सूर्यति ब्रूहिणा श्रद्धदानानां लीलया ददतः कला
Word meaning translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Repeat the meanings after me. Tasya, his. Karmani, transcendental acts. Udarani, magnanimous. Parigitani, broadcast. Suribhi, by the great souls. Bruhi, please speak. Naha, unto us. Shraddhadhananam, ready to receive with respect. Leelaya, pastimes. Dadhata, advented. Kala, incarnations. So repeat the translation please. His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations. So what are the sages asking? Sages are asking Suta Goswami about whom? His transcendental, about the Supreme Lord. So the questions, it says here, the Bhagavatam says, unless you have questions for Krishna, they are the best questions, they are the best queries. Other all things are simply nonsense. Other all things are irrelevant. They are of no use at all. If you are dealing with, every topic is dealing with Krishna, that's why Prabhupada says, what do? You connect everything to Krishna. You have the latest technology with you, put in service of Krishna. You have whatever resources you have, put into the service of Krishna. Then what happens? Everything becomes transcendental. So here, they are talking about the sages. They want to know how Krishna works, what his transcendental acts are. So this is what this Suta Goswami, Shukdev Goswami, they all mention that connect everything to Krishna. And they say this is good that you are talking about Krishna. He says his transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious. So Krishna's acts are magnificent and they are gracious. They are magnanimous. They are udarani. They are blessing for everybody. They are blessing for the humanity. And then he is very gracious. He is very merciful. The sages, they are inquiring this. You have seen previously many questions have been asked in the previous verses. He says, They have asked, there are many varieties of scriptures. In all of them, there are many prescribed duties, which can be learned only after many years of study in their various divisions. Therefore, O sage, please select an essence of all these scriptures. That is, I'm reading from the 11th verse. So they want the essence of the scriptures. They want many things. The sages, they want everything in nutshell. They want to understand Krishna. So here they are asking again, his transcendental acts are magnificent, he is gracious, and great sages like Narada. So Narada Muni, he sings of them. So Narada is again the son of Brahma, and he sings the glories. He is the Dasiputra in the previous birth. We will read his story, it will come in the later chapters. You will read all about Brahma's incarnation, read about how Naraji came, what happened, how he became such a devotee that he had access to everywhere, access to Krishna's abode. He can enter Krishna's abode and he can talk to Krishna. He can speak to Krishna. You all know a story where Naraji met a cobbler. Do you all know a story? That story, have you heard? So, where he meets a cobbler and then he meets a Brahmana, a smart Brahman. So, you see, Naraji, he went to, even when he was told that King Dashrath, the King Janak, he is very pious and very connected to the Supreme Lord. So he wanted to test Raja Janak also. He went there also. He is always actually, why he does so? Because he establishes the glories of Krishna all the more. Why Naraji is mentioned here? Because Naraji is the one who actually speaks of nothing other than Krishna. If you see, he's got that Ektara and he's speaking Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. His every breath going in, coming out, it's Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He never says anything else other than Krishna. Once when he went to Dwarka, he was surprised to see that in 16,108 palaces, Krishna is present in every palace with every queen of his, and he's performing some this or the other activity there, like all of us. And he's somewhere. Krishna, he saw chanting on the beads his own name. And then he was in Dwarka he wanted to spend some time with Krishna there. So he was there. And once Krishna wanted to call for Arjun. So Satyabhama said, I'll go and call Arjun. She goes there and she doesn't come back. Then Krishna says, who will next go and call? She didn't come back. Go and see what's happened. Why they are not coming? And then Narad Muni said, So Narad Muni said, I will go. And he went there. He did not come back. Then Krishna said, I'll go and check what's happening. Whosoever goes in the palace never turns back. So Krishna went himself. He saw Arjun is sleeping. Arjun is Gudakesh. He is won over Nidra. He's conquered Nidra. He's conquered the sleep. But he's lying down. His eyes are closed and he's singing the holy name. He's doing the kirtan while sleeping. And Satyabhama went to wake him up to get him that Krishna is calling. And then she heard the kirtan, she started dancing. Then Narad Muni went, he started dancing. And Krishna saw they all are dancing. Arjun is lying there and he's chanting his name, singing the glories, singing the kirtan, and all are dancing. So this is actually, Naradji is there, wherever Krishna's name is being taken, he is there. Prabhupada said, when the London Rath Yatra happened for the first time, Prabhupada said, you know who was visiting here? Naradji was here. He attended this Rath Yatra. He was here. So this is how a pure devotee sees another pure devotee. Naradji is a pure devotee, and likewise Prabhupada, pure devotee of the Lord. He could see he said demigods were here, and Naradji was here. So it says here, what the sages are saying, that great sages like Narad sing of them. Please therefore speak to us, and please tell us, because we are eager to hear the adventures he performs in his various incarnations. So when we are eager to hear the pastimes of Krishna, that is the qualification in itself to understand Krishna. That's it. Simple words. Just when we are very eager, very inquisitive, we qualify to listen the glories and we qualify to understand them. Otherwise, they are very difficult to understand. But one has to pay the price to understand them. That's eagerness. Rupa Goswami says, Laulyam. Laulyam means deep greed. Deep greed to hear about the Supreme Lord. Deep greed to hear about Prabhupada's activities, Prabhupada's pastimes. If you are very greedy to know Prabhupada's pastimes, you will understand Krishna's pastimes very fast. because you are trying to understand the pure devotees' pastimes. Because Prabhupada's pastimes, Prabhupada Leela Amrit, if you go through, it's amazing. You see that how Prabhupada struggled, and yet he was not at all, he was never illusioned or dwindled. He was single person chanting. If somebody tells me, even say I travel the world and say, oh, you go to this country, nobody has gone there, and you go and just start chanting and make devotees there, I would be so afraid, so scared to go there. What will I do there? How will I do it? But Prabhupada was not at all scared. He just went all alone at such old age, and he went there, and he faced so many difficulties, and yet he was chanting. He was giving the holy name, distributing, singing, dancing. And he danced when the first Rath Yatra happened in London. He was supposed to sit. He was not well. He was supposed to sit. They had made a special asan for him on the Rath itself. Likewise, we have these days. That asan was put that Prabhupada should sit there. But Prabhupada said, no, I will lead the Rath Yatra. I will dance in the Rath Yatra. And it says it was for 6 kilometers long, and he danced whole way. And the police had specially told the devotees that you will not do anything on the roads, you will not block the traffics, you will let the traffic go. I have attended the Rath Yatra in London. It's a massive Rath Yatra. And the police, likewise in those days also, these days also, police actually encircles you and makes you walk and leaving the other side of the road for the traffic to go on. But then it was creating a traffic jam. Prabhupada was dancing, nobody could stop him. They were telling Guru Das again and again, they were going to him, and Mukunda Prabhu was there. They were telling, the policemen were telling, tell your leader not to dance, not to block the traffic. But nobody dare go near Prabhupada and say that. And then the police wala also left it. And Prabhupada kept on dancing, and he was jumping up and down till it reached the Trafalgar Square. And then the 3 ruts were, I've seen, it's so magnificent. You see the 3 ruts there, and it started with 3 ruts. It happened. So this is how actually the pure devotees of the Lord, because they are greedy to speak about Lord, to hear about Lord. That's what Prabhupada was. He was greedy to give Krishna consciousness. He was greedy to give what his spiritual master had told him to give it to others. He wanted to give it. He had that greed in him to distribute the holy name. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had given, and what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his own guru, told him, that you should distribute this holy name to the entire world. And that's what Prabhupada did it. Prabhupada in his lifetime did 99% of the work. His devotees have done just 1% after that. He established, and everywhere he went, he came to Africa, he came to every corner. And he placed the seed there, and rest, everybody has nurtured the seed. And that has happened. You go to Italy, you go to the villages in Italy, they know, it's so surprising that Indian villages, the people know that there is Gauranitai. But when you go to Italy, or you go to Finland, you go to Estonia, like a small country, people are dancing and singing Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You feel so happy, so nice. It feels, oh, you found your family. Once I was traveling and I was at the airport, a lady came, she was from Kenya. She was a big lady, she came, the local from here. She was working at the airport there. And she came running to me. I said, I don't know what's wrong, something wrong I've done or something. She was in her uniform. She came to me, that's a customs uniform she was wearing. She came to me and she said, oh, you are Hare Krishna. I said, yes, I love Hare Krishna people. I want to hug you. Can I hug you? Do you have some prasad with you, or cookie or something? I said, no, but you can hug me. And then she gave me a tight embrace. And she said, I feel so nice when I talk to Hare Krishna people. I love it. Once I was doing book distribution in Sydney. In the mornings, usually I'm free. In the evenings, we have sessions. So I went to a store. And in the malls, as usual, they don't allow you to do any book distribution. You can't carry books open inside. What I plan is I carry like this back to God. I hold like this, the front page here, not here. So they can have the darshan of the deities, or sometimes I'll carry a Radha Shyam Sundar big picture. So that day I was carrying Radha Shyam Sundar picture, and I had to get it framed also for a devotee. I wanted to gift it him. So I went to the store, that is Woolworth there. So I went to the Woolworth store and I was carrying the pictures like this. I had many pictures and books with me. So the there was a lady. She was standing at the security officer. So she was watching me. She saw the picture, and when I was coming out of the Woolworth, she said, whose picture is that? I said, this is Krishna with his consort, that is Radharani. They live in Vrindavan, that's in India. She said, they are very beautiful. I want this picture. I said, those who have this picture, and they are very fortunate. And she was an Australian lady. She said, I want this picture. I said, but there is a price to pay for that. I will give a donation. Without donation, I can't give you the picture. There is whatever you can give, a donation. So she said, right now I am the security officer here and the cameras are on. We are not supposed to carry any purses, any money in our pockets. My money is lying in the vault behind the locker. So, but I will just figure out some. I need it. I want it. She had fallen in love immediately with Radha Shyam Sundar. I said, okay, if you wanted, this friend of mine, she lives here in Sydney. She will come someday and she'll give it to you. You tell us the day, she will come and give you, and you give the donation to her. She said, no, I want it right now, today. Let me figure out something. She's looking towards everywhere, the cameras and all. And then she tells me, like it was, I remember, like it was like smuggling, you know. She said, go to a shop there, just opposite, that's a shop. That's my friend is sitting at the counter. Just tell him to give you $5. I will just wave from here and he'll give you $5. You tell him to look at me and I'll tell him. So I said, okay. Then I told my friend who was with me, I said, you go to the shop. She went to that shop. She said, this is the picture, your friend has asked for it. And she says, you will give $5 on her behalf. And he looked towards her and she said like this, and he gave us $5. We gave the picture to him to give it to her. We put the temple's name and the address behind the picture, and then he gave it to her. She came to the temple, she had darshan, and she became a devotee later on. So you see how this happens. I was traveling once from there to Hong Kong, and I did not order anything I did not take any meal in the plane. And I was in the plane, and I had a lot of prasad from the devotees itself. From Sydney, I was flying from Sydney. I had a lot of prasad with me. So she was on the round. She was actually she was an inspection of Cathay Pacific. She was their inspector. She was taking care, like she had come to inspect that how the services are going on in the temple, I'm saying, in the plane, how they are giving everything to the passengers. So she saw that I was denying all the food they were giving. I said, no, I don't want, sorry. So she walked towards me. She said, why are you denying all the food from us? Why do you don't want? I see that you're eating your own something from your bags. I said, yeah, because you see, I'm a devotee. I don't eat onion and garlic and all. And you won't believe it, for 3.5 hours flight, she sat with me on my laptop. She was going through what all we do, what are we following. And then she said, I don't have a child. I don't have any child. I really want to have a child. I said, why you want to have a child? We have baby Krishna for you. You can make him your child. He will actually reciprocate you with as a child. So I gave her from my laptop, I said, I'll forward you this picture of Krishna, and then you can get it framed and keep it in your home. And you will see that how he will reciprocate. And till date, she's on my email with me. She gave me her email ID. She clicked the picture with me. That article, I put it on the Danvats in the year 2008. It is on danvats.com. I put the picture with her with me. She got a picture clicked with me, and then I wrote an article on her and I placed it. So like you see, these small acts, they actually leave an imprint on others. When we talk about Krishna to others, people are craving for it. That's what Prabhupada did it. Prabhupada gave Krishna to everybody because everybody wanted to have Krishna in their life. They were feeling the emptiness. So here it says, they are eager to hear, the saints were eager to hear the adventures of Krishna. Like we are eager to hear the adventures of Srila Prabhupada. And we actually follow his footsteps, how he told us to do book distribution, how he told us that how you should be going around. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, the personality of Godhead is never inactive as some less intelligent persons suggest. His works are magnificent and magnanimous. His creations, both material and spiritual, are all wonderful and contain all variegatedness. So there is a lot of variety. We are not only dry philosophy, we do not talk. We just don't talk any dry philosophy. We talk about the things which you can experience yourself. Like I told you my experiences. Every devotee has their own experiences. Everybody can have it. So that is how, because Krishna reciprocates. We just put an effort and Krishna reciprocates. So they are described nicely by such liberated souls like Sri Narada, Vyasa, Valmiki, Devala, Asyata, Madhava, Sri Chaitanya, Ramanuja, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka, Sridhara, Vishwanath, Baldev, Bhaktivinoda, Siddhant Saraswati Thakur, and many other learned and self-realized souls. So Prabhupada has given the whole parampara, all the devotees of the Lord. He speaks that they are the pure devotees of the Lord. They are the self-realized souls. They have talked about it. So Bhagavad Gita is the science of self-realization. It is the science of self-realization. It is the science that how we realize ourselves, who we are, why we are born. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. So he says the material creations are manifest for sometimes as perverted shadows of the spiritual kingdom. So this material world is the perverted form of the, perverted means distorted form. There is love, pure love in the Vaikuntha, in the Golok Dham. But here the love is, its perverted form is lust. Here we have lust. There is the pure love. So when we gradually, Prabhupada says, when you chant the holy name, your lust will turn into pure love for Krishna. We have many lusty desires. We come to Krishna for many desires. We are lusty. But then Krishna transforms us and makes us, those lusty desires, into love. So that's what Prabhupada says here, that they attract people of less intelligence caliber. The material kingdom can be likened to cinemas. They attract people of less intelligence. So those who go and watch cinemas, those who go and watch movies, they are actually, he says, are less intelligent. Because they are watching again an illusion into illusion. This world is illusion and they watch another illusion into illusion. And they get carried away with that. They get carried away by the film actors, the film stars. They make them their heroes, they make them their gods. And they are just what? They are just acting. They are getting paid for those acts. They are just making fool of us. And we get carried away. Some people, they watch movies and they start crying with the actor. The actor dies there and they cry. I remember there was a very famous drama in India once. I'm talking about many years back. There was a drama and you won't believe it, that drama became so popular. The director actually killed the hero of the drama, and the people, they came on the streets. They said, why did you kill the hero of the drama? I went to see my husband's grandmother and she was crying. She said, oh, he died. I said, he did not die, he's there. It's just the drama. So likewise, people are fooled, they get carried away with such. And then people, they actually told that director, you have to not make that hero die. He had to, in that other play then came, the hero was alive. They had to bring him alive. So it is such foolish men have no information of reality. And they take it for granted that the false material manifestation is all in all. So likewise the drama, this is also a drama going on. And those who get engrossed in this drama, they think, oh, I've lost a relative, I've lost this person. This is again, we should not feel sorry. Because everybody has to die. It's not that we should not feel sorry, because it's not that we are going to live throughout. We will also die. We are not eternal. Our soul is eternal. So Krishna makes this very clear for us. Yes, likewise we were laughing for that hero that he died. It's likewise in this material world. So like in this material world, we are also made fools like that. We have to accept that we are eternal. The soul is eternal. Nothing happens to soul. Soul wants to go back to his own dham, his own source. That is Krishna. Where Krishna resides, the soul has to go back there. So we are only helping in this body to take it back. So this body is just a help Krishna has given. We should not get attached to this material body. So that's why we see the sannyasis, the Prabhupada, they were suffering. They had so much limitations with the body. In the later years, Prabhupada, the last few months, he was so sick. Yet, with same fervor, he was translating the Bhagavatam. He was dictating the Bhagavatam translation. Like where you see, he's lying on the bed but his lips are moving and is giving the Bhagavatam translation. How can that consciousness be there? We just have a bad throat or something and we say, oh, can we miss the class? We are not well. And look at Prabhupada. He is there, he is passing out from this body, and yet he is giving the Bhagavatam to us for us to read later on, that we should get enlightened. He was worried about us. Likewise, we should be worried about the next coming generations, that we have to pass it on to them. So that is why we should be very eager to do it. So it says here, so but more intelligent men guided by the sages like Vyasa and Narada know that all eternal kingdom of God is more delightful, larger and eternally full of bliss and knowledge. So these pure sages, they know that Krishna's abode is what? Satchitanand. It's eternal, it's full of knowledge, it's full of bliss. And then they talk about that. His adventures as incarnations wherein he displays the eternal bliss of his association in transcendental realm. By such activities he attracts the conditioned souls of the material world. So Krishna is Satchitanand and our soul is also Satchitanand. So we get attracted to Krishna. When we hear about Krishna, our soul gets attracted to Krishna. And likewise, when our soul is attracted, then there is no looking back. Once we know we are souls and our soul is attracted to Krishna, then we will actually reach Krishna. And it says here that conditioned soul gets attracted, and some of these conditioned souls are engaged in the false engagement of material senses. And some of the people we see, they are engaged in just satisfying the senses, the bodily senses, and others in simply negating their real life in the spiritual world. So, but these are all less intelligent people. They negate, some they come into the spiritual world still, they are actually not following the right process. So it says these less intelligent persons are known as karmis, fruitative workers, and the jnanis. So sometimes the jnanis, they are actually just arguing about if you talk to a Mayavadi philosophy, if you go, they will negate everything. Neti. They'll say, no, not this. But we say, yes, Krishna is there, his form is there, his activities are there, his pastimes are there, he is very much there. So, and the fruitative workers are the sakama karmis. Those who go, they want things. They go to demigods and goddesses. Their spiritual world is that only. They want material things. They want to enjoy their senses. And the jnanis are dry mental speculators. The jnanis are the dry mental speculators because they don't worship a form and they don't actually have reciprocation with Krishna. Like we have, Prabhupada has been merciful. Prabhupada says that if you say Krishna is everywhere, the Mayavadis say he is everywhere but he is formless. But he can be everywhere, so why can't he be here? Why can't he come in this murti for us? He is very much there because he reciprocates with us. So, but above these two classes of men is the transcendentalist known as Sattvata, or the devotee, who is busy neither with rampant material activity nor with material speculation. He is engaged in the positive service of the Lord, and thereby he derives the highest spiritual benefit unknown to the karmis and jnanis. So, likewise, what I said, the transcendentalist, the bhakti yogi, he actually reciprocates with the Lord. The Lord reciprocates with him. He serves the Lord in his murti archa vigraha form, and he is engaged in the positive service of the Lord. As the supreme controller of both the material and spiritual worlds, the Lord has different incarnations of unlimited categories. Incarnations like Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu and Vyasa are his material qualitative incarnations. So you have many forms of incarnations of Krishna. So it talks about like the Guna avatars, the Manvantara avatars. So Krishna has many forms. So his incarnations, he says, are like Rama, Narsimha, Varha, Vaman, and his transcendental incarnations. Lord Shri Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations, and he is therefore called the cause of all causes. But the ultimate, the fountainhead, the topmost is the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He says, Aham sarvasya prabhavamata sarvam pravati. Krishna says, I am the cause of all causes. And in Brahma Samhita, we know the first shloka where the Brahmaji says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanama. So he is the Karana of every Karan. He is the cause of all causes. That's the Supreme Lord. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So any question anybody has? Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So thank you, Prabhuji. So anybody wants to say anything? Any comment? Any question? So we'll end the session. I know it's a heavy and long day. You've been up since Mangal Aarti. I'm also up since Mangal Aarti. Hari Bol.
Our Mangal is 5 p.m. 5 a.m.
Achha, here you do at 5.
Yeah.
Achha, but my, so it's set for the last 25 years, quarter to 4 o'clock I'm up. Whether I sleep by 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, I don't know. I have to be up by quarter to 4. I'm up. So I was up and I got ready, did chanting, and then we did the Mangal Aarti in their home with them at 5 o'clock, 5:15 we did. We did full Aarti with them. Yeah. So it was good. When it's very good when we, with some new devotees, we train them.
Yes.
It's easy. It becomes easy for them then when somebody is there with them.
Yes.
Because I remember I also had the opportunity when I became a devotee. We had so many saints, sadhus, sannyasis coming to our home. We would welcome them, and that's how I learned. Guru Maharaj would often say that he would never ask us even. He knew that we would host them. He would simply say, I'm Radhika Krpa, they will come to your home. Like we had Loknath Maharaj, we had Bhakti Marag Maharaj, we had Radha Govind Maharaj, we had Bhakti Charu Maharaj, we've had Kavi Chandra Maharaj, and then many more. Jai Pataka Maharaj. They all have blessed us in our homes, and Guru Maharaj as well as Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So when we have devotees coming to our home, then our home becomes purified. So it becomes Vaikuntha, it becomes Dham, Vrindavan it becomes. So we should always welcome devotees. That's what I have learnt from these sannyasis, and that's what I want to give to others. That's the only reason I travel, to please Guru Maharaj, to please my Guru Maharaj and fulfill. Just now I had a talk with Navyogendra Maharaj. He's in Vancouver. So my son is in Vancouver. He was visiting temple, my son. It was Sunday feast there going on. It's yesterday there. So my son went there, and Navyogendra Maharaj was there. So he called up my husband. My husband is in Delhi. So he called up my husband, and he said, Navyogendra Maharaj wants to speak to you. So that was a video call. So Navyogendra Maharaj asked my Prabhuji, Punjabi, so in Punjabi he asked that, where is your wife? So he said, my wife is in Kenya, she's preaching there. Then my son called me up here and he said, Maharaj would like to talk to you. Then Navyogendra Maharaj spoke to me. Then I said, I need your blessings, Maharaj. Then he says, Jumbo Jumbo. I said, no, Mambo Jumbo. And then he said, when the president of Vancouver temple said, when are you coming? You said you are coming here. I just got a visa, my Canadian visa got renewed. So I told him I'll come there for 1 month. He said, you were supposed to come here. You have landed in Kenya. What are you doing there? I said, I'll come later. I'm coming there in September. After Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja, I'll go to Vancouver. Guru Maharaj told me to make a group in Vancouver also. I have online group, but he said make one in Vancouver. So I preach there. I give lectures there. My lectures are here. I've given there a lot of radio and TV interviews in Canada, in Vancouver. So it's been always nice preaching there. So any question anybody wants to ask, or we'll meet again in the evening. Hare Krishna, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
From the Bhagavad
Yeah,
Gita.
Bhagavad
Can ask